Spent a couple days in Manhattan last week, and if you go to Wall Street, where the Federal Reserve is, where JP Morgan headquarters is, a couple blocks away, you can see where the World Trade Center was, of course, the big black cube, fountains of doom. And across the street is this thing. And this is called the Oculus. It opens the eyeball of the Oculus opens every September 11th. And the whole thing is extremely creepy. And as you stand there, and monumental architecture sort of is to touch you on many levels. Over here is the big fountain of death, and over here is the Oculus. And you can just stand there and feel that there's a conspiracy. And they want you to know that there's a conspiracy. And since October 7th, people have realized that there's a conspiracy. And JFK told us there's a conspiracy. And my TikTok channel was removed because I explained how the whole thing works. You're welcome. But going forward, so you don't get banned or shadow banned, just refer to it as the conspiracy. All these people that have this sense that, like, our government doesn't really have anything to do with it. That's right. There's a conspiracy. And you should study things like Albert Pike. You should study things like his letter to Mazzini. You should study things like St. Augustine and he became a Christian by leaving what were called at the time the Manichees, the Babylonian kind of cult. It's like a sex and death cult. America belongs to a conspiracy that is a sex and death cult. It's all over our architecture. It's all over our international structure. And going forward, just refer to it as the conspiracy. And people say, what's the conspiracy? You say, I don't know. That's why we call it the conspiracy. But it's clearly not Christian. Quite the contrary. It is very, very heavily influenced by Babylonian and Kabbalistic imagery and Masonic imagery. The Twin Towers become the single tower, the One World Trade Center is One World, get it? The Oculus. But going forward, I think a lot of people have come to the recognition that we're on our own. And that's really all you have to know about why Crowd America is being created, is because we're on our own. And a lot, back to St. Augustine, a lot like when I started with Bruno on TikTok, I was reading this book called Through the Eye of the Needle. That was the deep background by Peter Brown, considered the greatest biographer of Augustine. And as the name implies, it was about how money transitioned through the fall of the Roman Empire and the development of the Christian world, which we think of as the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages. But, yeah, money is esoteric. And the genius of Crowd America is this. We're building a crowd to build crowds to build crowds. You want to do that again? How does BlackRock work? Well, they manage $22 trillion, and like George Carlin said, it's a club and you ain't in it. Okay? Crowd America is a club and you can be in it. And right now there's 12 regions, and next year there will be 12 regions in the 12 regions. See how this works? It's $50 to become a member and $1,000 to become a sponsor. It is decentralized. In a sentence, you could say we are crowdfunding crowdfunding. Clever, huh? Yeah. So your options are this: the conspiracy, or you can go start doing things yourself. with friends and family and partners. President's Day, we're going to shoot for Morton's Steakhouse has this system where you can utilize all their private rooms simultaneously, and we're going to shoot for that on President's Day. But go to Patreon, Crowd America. There's only 1,200 members to get started. Have a nice weekend.